Okay, I would like to call this council meeting of October the 9th to order. I would like to acknowledge that we are holding this meeting on the lands, unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq. Let's stand for the singing of O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So since it's Thanksgiving weekend coming up, I'll just speak for all of us and say we're thankful to be Canadian, among other things. It's on your Facebook list, the whole list of thankful things. I look at it every day, every time you post. Okay, so record of attendance, everyone's here, no absent with regrets. Any declarations of conflict of interest, anyone? Declare it the agenda item if you wish. Approval of agenda, so the recommended motion is that the agenda be approved as circulated, please. Okay, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Cleveland, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Contrary? Motion carried, thank you. Okay, approval of a minutes, Town Council, September the 11th, please. Councillor Hatfield. Second by Councillor Dayers. Discussion on this one. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Thank you. And Committee of the Whole, October 2nd, please. Councillor Lesser and Councillor Cleveland. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay. Business arising. Feeding wild animals best practice. So the recommended motion there is that council pass second reading to amend the feeding wild animals bylaw. So we have that attached to the agenda. Would we like to make that motion, somebody? Okay, Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Okay, discussion on this one. Go ahead, a chance to take a peek. Any questions or anything? Okay, go ahead, Councillor Dayers. How did that happen? There we go.
Just a comment that our bylaw enforcement officer, Adam Monroe, put a great deal of work into this. We should be grateful for the amount of effort he put into it.
Yeah, good stuff.
It convinced me.
Yeah. Wow.
I got you both. That's what happened there.
Yeah, I'd like to actually agree with that. And I was one of the people who was really stubborn about this one because I have strong beliefs in it. And actually the way it was written convinced me. And so great job to everybody. And thank you for your patience.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. Isn't that what happens once we get it right? So Councillor Cleveland, maybe the fact that you just were a little bit uneasy about it, got it to the right place. So that's, you know. Yeah, oh, both of you. Well, look at you two now. Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay, fall grants. The recommended motion there is that council approve the 2025 fall grants as presented. Okay, Councillor Cleveland, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Any discussion on these? Go ahead, Councillor.
Actually, just a question about the fall grants in that, of course, there are that many as I'm looking at my screen and I see the ones who have made the applications. My question is, if you had money or got money or didn't, is there a response? Do you respond to them and let them know exactly how things turned out?
So they would get the check if we gave them money.
But if they
and
didn't, is it
if
just
they
one
didn't,
long
was there only
silence?
one that didn't? Because they had already applied.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so, and I believe they are aware of that, but we can certainly send them a note out if that makes council more comfortable.
It makes me more
Yep,
comfortable, yeah.
definitely. Send a note out, okay? Any more questions on this one? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried, thank you. Okay, new business, number 11. 11A, we have some tender results here. The recommended motion under 11A is that council award the request for quotation for the Yarmouth Fire Hall water damage repairs to Gary and Construction on a time and materials contract with a budget of $20,000 to $30,000 plus HST. Can I have that motion? Okay, Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Questions? Deputy?
I'm just wondering, there's like a $10,000 variance there. Is there kind of an explanation as to why there's quite a wide range?
It's time and materials, so I expect part of it is actually when they get into it, it could be, there could be some range of how much work could be required, depending on how far the damage is, so I would expect that's the reason.
Okay. Any more questions on this one? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. 11B, the recommended motion is that council award the tender for snow clearing and removal for the 2025-2026 season to K. Anthony Landscaping and Snow Removal. I have a motion for that. Councillor Lesser, seconded by Councillor Bashir-Lacroix. Any discussion on this one, or any questions, anything? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried, thank you. Okay, number 3. 11C, the recommended motion there is that council award the tender for the trucking of highway bulk salt for the 2025-2026 season to Elmsdale Landscaping Limited for an estimated contract price of $86,250 plus HST. Okay, Councillor Lesser, seconded by Councillor Bashir-Lacroix. Any discussion on this one? So that's, I'm just going to say this. That's almost $100,000 with tax. That's just for salt. Like, that's a big deal, and I think, when we look at the big picture of, yeah, exactly, just trucking of the salt. Just the trucking of the salt. Like, that's amazing, like the costs of things, and it's like that everywhere, but I think we don't take into consideration, sometimes we bulk everything together. It's a huge cost, but it has to be done, so that's good. Councillor Lesser.
Just wondering if there's any update on if there is salt this year. I don't know if there's, I know last year we ran into some issues trying to get salt across the province, and I don't know if that's been rectified.
I believe the issue with the salt last year had to do with, and I'm going from memory here, I believe there were some mechanical issues, mechanical failure at the mine, and that caused things to be backed up. Hopefully they've taken the summer months to prepare themselves, but I don't have any insight into that. That was not an occurrence that, it's not an annual problem. That was kind of the first time that we've seen that in my time here.
Go ahead, Councillor Dares.
Yeah, just a quick question. I mean, we've just gone through a particularly nasty winter, but we've also experienced over the course of the last few decades some very mild winters where very little salt was applied. So are we still expecting to have the 1,500 tons delivered?
So the tender is done on a per ton basis, and that estimate is what the manager or director of operations put in there to give you a sense of how much this could add up to. But if we don't have a winter where we need a lot of salt, they'll truck less and we'll pay less.
Okay, thank you. Let's hope.
Good, okay. Anyone else? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay, folks will love this one. The recommended motion under 11D is that council award the request for quotation to Daytech Limited for the supply and delivery of 5 bus shelters for the price of $81,225 plus HST for a total cost of $92,596.50, including the optional solar lighting and advertisement and art displays. Okay, Councillor Cleveland, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Discussion on this one, Councillor Cleveland?
Just got to say, it's a really exciting thing to have this happening and to watch this kind of finally come to fruition now. I wanted to mention, just for the public's sake, it mentions within the bottom of the tender that it's going to be a 10 to 12-week delivery time, and that we can, well, hoping to get those installed at some point during the spring. So it's a very exciting thing. It's great to see. We've done well with our transit system, if I don't mind saying.
We have. Go ahead, Councillor Dares.
Well, for my information and for the public as well, does anybody have an idea of exactly where these 5 are going to be located?
Go ahead.
Not off the top of my head, no. I know that Chad worked hard, and I know Greg was involved in getting some easements or rights of way to be able to put these on, partly on private property. I don't know if Greg, if you remember off the top of your head?
Yeah, I don't know if this, sorry. So there's one, basically right between RBC and the old courthouse. There's one,
Hospital.
the hospital, the grocery store down in the south end,
Needs, yeah.
yeah, and the fourth one was on town property, and we didn't need an easement for it, and I can't remember if it was on, was it near Meadowfields, or? That wouldn't make sense, would it? No, I don't remember the fourth one. Yeah, so anyway, sorry, that's all. All I remember.
Sorry, I only asked because I know I'm going to be asked tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll get that. Thanks for the question. Go ahead, Councillor.
Just wondering if one of them was on Main Street in front of Sunset Terrace. They were hoping to do one there, and I don't know if that was, if you were able to successfully negotiate with the property owner. So I'm just wondering if that's one of them.
We'll let you know tomorrow.
Good answer.
All righty. So on the bus shelter motion, anything else? Any more questions? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay. We're down to reports. Council Advisory Committee, so Committee of the Whole, that's you, Deputy, take it away.
I recommend a motion that council notify NSFM board of its position that NSFM should maintain 17 representatives and remove the right of AMANS to send a representative to the board. Instead, the board appoint a non-elected member who must be a staff person in a senior executive position in Nova Scotia.
Moved. Seconded by Councillor Lesser. Discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Hatfield.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just wonder if we could strike the word executive and maybe change that to administrative. I mean, I don't know if it, I'm thinking administrative would probably be a more appropriate term. So if we could make that as an amendment, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. And I would just say, and Councillor Hatfield, you correct me if I'm off on this, but we can send this in, but the bearing is on, the votes come from those that are at that meeting. But what you're saying is, you know, it's all, I mean, it's all taken into consideration, but the votes happen at that meeting.
Yeah.
You're on. Nope, you're on.
Oh, I'm on.
good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Your Worship. And just for council's information, because of the bylaw, how NSFM bylaws work, it requires a 28-day notice for a bylaw to be considered. And, an amendment that is material, which this one would be, would probably require another 28 days' notice. So I think that this is just an indication from town council that after deliberating, we recognize that first among experts are our municipal administrators, and that should there be experts on the NSFM board, the first choice of experts would be an administrator. And that's maybe for something for the board to think of in the future. And so having this letter on file will certainly help to, yeah, thank you.
Good stuff, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Dares.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I'm still wrestling with this one. And since I will be there at the NSFM conference to cast a vote, I still haven't made up my mind. So I think I'll probably, I find it hard to support the motion as it is because I just think I need more information.
Well, you sit down and have a chat with me,
Thank you.
or Bill. Okay? Anyone else? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Thank you.
I recommend a motion that council amend the expense reimbursement policy to include committee members in section 8.0M.
Okay, so moved. Seconded. Discussion on this one? So we each have an amount of money that we can travel with. We can go to conferences and those things. When committee members go, how do they know who's going? How do they get permission to do that so that we can ensure they're reimbursed?
So it would have to be, it would have to be a budgeted expense. So in some cases, like we might have a budget for police advisory board. If we, as there's police advisory board meetings, conferences, that sorts of thing every now and then. Same with Communities in Bloom. If there's a budget, then they can utilize that budget. If there's no budget, the same as if there's no budget for any member of council or myself to travel, if there's no budget, we can't travel. Right? So as long as there's a budget, now there's a policy.
Okay. Anyone else? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Good, thank you, Deputy. Citizen Advisory Committee's Planning Advisory, Councillor Cleveland. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. Recommend a motion that council pass first reading to the proposed amendments to the land use bylaw to rezone 3 Commercial Street from low-density residential R1 zone to medium-density residential R2 zone.
Okay, so he's making that motion. We got a seconder? Okay, Councillor Lesser. Any discussion on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion carried.
Recommended motion that council pass first reading to the proposed amendments to the municipal planning strategy to change the designation of 191 Main Street from residential to central business district as shown in attachment 2.
Seconded. Any discussion on this one? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried.
Recommended motion that council pass first reading to the proposed amendment to the land use bylaw to rezone 191 Main Street from medium-density residential Main Street R2M zone to downtown commercial C1 as shown in attachment 3.
Seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Discussion on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion carried.
Recommended motion that council pass first reading to the proposed amendment to the Tax Incentive Grant Program area map, which is part of the Central Business District Improvement Plan bylaw, to include 191 Main Street within that central business district.
Moved, seconded by the deputy mayor. Discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion
And
carried.
recommended motion that council pass first reading to the proposed amendment to section 14.0 of the Central Business District Improvement Plan bylaw to add the phrase "unless otherwise permitted by the town" at the beginning of the section.
Seconded by the deputy. Any discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried.
All right. Next is recommended motion that council defer a decision on entering into a development agreement to permit a wide range of additional uses, including medical clinic and office uses at 76 Stars Road, until the municipal planning strategy and land use bylaw review has been completed.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just like to point out that within the next few, there's been a ton of discussion about the nature of these, and it's important enough that we need to get through the process of revamping and going over the MPS and the LUB, and that's why the motion is to defer. And so, as you all know, we're continuing to do that work. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be meeting with Upland coming soon in the next few days. So,
Good stuff. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried.
thank you. Recommended motion that council defer a decision on entering into a development agreement to permit medical clinic uses at 77 Parade Street until the municipal planning strategy and land use bylaw review has been completed.
Seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion carried.
And finally, recommended motion that council defer a decision on entering into a development agreement to permit medical clinic uses at 77 Stars Road until the municipal planning strategy land use bylaw has been review has been completed.
That one was confusing because it was 77 Parade.
There's parade and there's stars.
Stairs,
Yeah.
I can see the look.
Same number,
Yeah, okay.
different street.
Seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Any discussion on this one? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, we have Councillor Dares with the Deer Management Strategy Working Group.
Thank you. The recommended motion is that council send a letter to the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities to consider the rising urban deer population as a matter of provincial interest for all municipalities in the province, and request they take the issue to the Minister of Natural Resources for consideration of finding a province-wide solution to the overpopulation of deer within many municipalities in Nova Scotia.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this one? So we'll take, just so you're aware, we get a lot of requests like this, and when a municipality sends it and then it's backed up by other municipalities, and plus the work that Troro's already done, like that's helpful, then that's how you get it on the table because there's so many issues. So we'll bring it, and, you know, I maybe encourage some of the other municipal units around us, and, you know, maybe Shelburne, Digby, and they can send in letters. I think that's the best way to get it done. Councillor Hatfield, do you think? I think that's the best way, because, but we're going to, you know, you send this and.
So on that note, I participated in a webinar earlier this year that was hosted by the Department of Natural Resources staff, their senior biologist, Tricia Fleming. And on that call, or on that webinar, there were a number of municipalities represented, each of them voicing a similar complaint and a similar concern that we've been experiencing here in Yarmouth. And in some cases, they were a little bit more forceful in their insistence that it's a provincial matter. So we think this is the way to go. I can tell you that I met with the MLA this morning on this issue. He is supportive, and he is prepared to consult with department staff initially, but take it to the minister as well. So we have him on board.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Okay, anyone else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay, under the Police Advisory Board, the recommended motion is that council appoint Joanne McFarland to the Police Advisory Board for a 2-year term. Okay, seconded by motioned by the deputy, seconded by Councillor Lesser. Any discussion on this one? It would be good to fill that position. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. And under EDI, the recommended motion there is that council add lighting around the 2nd Battalion Monument at the Yarmouth County Library, as well as an informational panel. Let's do that one first. Okay, and second, do you want to second that one? Okay, seconded by Councillor Lesser. Go ahead.
I think the wording of that actually is supposed to, and maybe the deputy can help me with it, but I think it was more to get staff to investigate as opposed to just doing it. But I'm not sure on both of these motions coming up, but I think it was, I think both are to get staff to look at it first, which I think is the normal protocol to do it. Is that correct?
So it's a, it's an initiative that will have cost that doesn't have a budget. So I think the right steps here might be to get a staff report, right, with recommendations on those items, and then refer to budget. And we're in the fall, so timing's not bad here. And then it can be considered in the budget process. So first step, refer to staff for a report, and when it comes back, and it shouldn't take too long,
Okay.
then refer it into the budget.
I know it's an important item for the committee, but I just wanted to make sure we do it the right way. So I don't know if we have to change the wording of that.
Yeah, so with permission of the mover and the seconder, that council ask for a staff report around adding lighting around the 2nd Battalion Monument at the Yarmouth County Library, as well as an informational panel. So you'll be looking for a staff report on both of those. Okay, so are you okay, Deputy, to change that? You moved it, and you seconded it? Counselor, you
Yep.
good? All right. Any more discussion on that one? Isn't that funny? I thought that was lit. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay, good stuff. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, this recommended motion is that council install informational panels throughout the town to highlight the diversity within our community. Okay, so this motion is that council request a staff report with regard to installing informational panels throughout the town to highlight the diversity within our community. Okay, you want to make that one? Okay, you moving it? Moving it? You want to second it? Okay, and then you're going to speak.
The discussion at the committee was, our community is made up of many different cultures and whatnot, and just to become more aware of, bringing light to the diversity that our town has and the various cultures that are represented, and it would be nice to have different information panels just to make sure we cover everybody.
Did the volunteer banquet with Chuck Smith, and he was mentioning this. He must be on that committee, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it's moved and seconded. Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. So we have reports for information. Is there anything there anybody had any questions around? Go ahead, Councillor Dares.
Yeah, just in regards to the solid waste park, I'd like to talk for a minute just about the new equipment that's been ordered and was test driven on September 19th. we've got approximately 360 tons of rope at the waste rope that's at the center now. And the idea is that this rope would be processed, cut into smaller lengths, and then shipped to Chester to Sustain, who turn it into biodiesel. And they'll also accept other plastics like fish totes and green bins, any kind of plastic fish waste from the fishing industry. And that'll, once again, now that gets turned into fuel. The savings for us is that we're not paying tipping fees. So we are paying for the trucking, but not for the tipping fees. So it is a cost saving. If you went out and looked at the pile of rope we have there right now, it's probably about as big as a house and 300 feet long. So it's quite a stack. One of the things we will have to do, though, is educate those in the fishing industry that the equipment will very easily cut bundles of rope. And one slice can go through probably about 5 bundles. But if it comes in as a tangled mess, then it can't be separated. We've tried with the excavator to pull it out of the pile, and you're dragging, a dump truck load. It'll hook on and pull it all out. So our plan is to accept coiled rope at no cost, but rope that's not coiled will be a tipping fee involved. But the equipment worked really well, and there's a few little improvements that are going to be made, and it should be on site within the next month.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, Councillor Lesser, did you have your light on? You're gone? Okay. Go ahead, CAO.
Yeah, has there been a tipping fee for rope up to this point, or is the proposed tipping fee new?
All right, yeah, there has been a tipping fee, but it'll be forgiven for those that are bringing it in bundles.
Perfect. Okay, and the second question is that I assume that there's diversion credits for taking that rope and diverting it from landfill.
Correct.
To benefit WasteJet.
Yes.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's all good news.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a prototype, this machine, that was, the rough design was the invention of Glendon Ringer, our manager, and then it was perfected by the engineers who were fabricating it. And we also hope that we'll be able to, because it's a towable piece of equipment, we'll also be able to assist Clare and Barrington with the issues they have.
Okay, good. No, any more questions for the report? Okay, well, I have a mayor's report. It's a little bit, I can't cover everything because you folks are up to your elbows as well. But I think we can all agree the last month has flown by. Lots continues to happen here in the town of Yarmouth. I did spend the first few days of September checking in with mayors throughout Nova Scotia, a discussion those issues that affect us all, including housing, autonomy, roads, everything. So, we learn from each other. So those are good things to do. Council reviewed our draft recreation, parks and culture plan, which is ongoing. Council members attended meetings daily, and we can all agree it's been I didn't know what else to say, except it's been a wild month. I think we need a nap in November, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just kind of pointed out too, and it's not because the other ones aren't busy, but Communities in Bloom is ramping up because they're readying themselves for the town to host the international event here in 2027. Again, the smallest town to ever host it, and it's the second time we've had the world at our feet. And when I say the world, I mean everybody from the United Kingdom to my gosh, Italy, Hungary, friends in Slovenia, yes. And they remember us, they keep in touch. It's amazing. They had such a wonderful time here. So we're looking forward to that again. It's going to be busy. And the Mariner Center Board, I have to say, and the subcommittees have been working long, hard hours as we go through the expansion process and all that comes with that. So, we know it's a lot of hours, and with everything from the deer management to the library, my goodness, EDI, accessibility, everything. It's been a busy month. The housing, if you take a drive through town, I think anyone can see, you know, you drive by McDonald's and it's almost like your face lights up when you see the orange. People say, I see that orange and I get excited. Now, if you go down on Water Street, you can see that group of housing coming up as well. So that's all exciting. You know, council made those decisions. It was easy to make those decisions. The staff is putting in the hard work to ensure that all gets done and the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted. So housing is coming along and there's always more coming. There's infrastructure projects. This is the time to do them. You know, even the seemingly small things, but to us, they're the big things. When you drive by the South Playground, you're seeing that the hill is down, but the, what do you call it, Deputy? The building. It's like a stage. The pavilion, that's it. I was just tested to see, because I couldn't remember. It looks great, and lots of questions around that. So, you know, kudos to the team and the community, because it was the community that ultimately said, this is what we want. You know, I'm going to say this, Yarmouth Wesleyan Church just had a big anniversary, and I mention that because they're in the community every single day. Sometimes you can look out in the park here and they're raking leaves or they're, you know, helping their friends. So I want to say congratulations to them on that big one. As president of Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities, I can say it's been particularly busy, especially with the legislature in session and all the changes that have been made and legislation that's been brought forward, and the advocacy work that comes with that. So it's NSFM's job basically to advocate for all municipalities in the province, and there's a lot of things that municipalities want. So what we do is go to the province and do that work, and actually we did that tonight through a letter that we're going to send off. We've seen a number of changes through omnibus bills that range from the ability for the province to say, you know, this is where daycare sites can go. So that's in response to the fact that, you know, it's difficult to find the space or to get enough daycare spaces. So what can they do? What can they put forward that will help that situation? To designated transportation corridors. I actually did an interview today with Halifax Radio that around that. And if you're not understanding that one, I had to read it 3 times to completely get it. But it's relatively simple. So the province is talking about transportation corridors, and what they're saying is, so like if they wanted, I don't know, high-speed rail or something like that, they have to be able to clear that path through wherever it needs to go for that to happen. And what they're doing is working now with, I want to say the triangle, but, you know, HRM and up to East Hants and, you know, down maybe as far as Bridgewater, because they can't cover the whole province right now. But also in places like Halifax, when you go there, it takes you a long time to get through some of that downtown and some of the other places. So they're doing some work there to kind of clear those corridors, to promote economic development, to make travel faster for the trucks, because there's more trucks now than there ever were. So they have to do that. Time is money, so they need those trucking routes. So anything that has to do with transportation, it's sort of like the 101 and the 103 for us. You can't build there without a permit. You can't do something on that property because it's a thoroughfare, a throughfare. So that's what they're doing, just kind of looking at designating what those are. And all NSFM said is, you know, don't come into a municipal unit and just say it. We need that discussion because we know what's going on and what we've got planned. Infrastructure counts. So, you know, how important is it for you not to be digging a whole new system under new infrastructure that we just built? And the 12-month notice as well. So in the MGA, there is, I think it's section 459, but it says when anything financial is to come to us, anything that's going to cost us money, we get 12 months notice. And we didn't used to get that. I don't know that we're getting it all this time, but they do their best. So we made it, we just said that's tremendously important for municipal units. It's a heads up, but we have to budget. You know, you can't say to Jerry, you have to spend $500,000 on something and that's next week. Gee, can you imagine? Maybe that's a trick we could play on Jerry. What do you think? No? Better not. Poor Jerry. Poor Jerry. So those are the things that are happening there. The code of conduct, I think you saw the code of conduct had 3 main changes. So I chaired that one, and I did say to the minister and the premier, you know, we did some really good work, and I stand by the work that we did, but you can't account for the unknown factors. So we just want to make sure when it comes to the code, because this is council members, this is getting accused, and, you know, this is important, not just for reputation, but to make sure that things are on the up and up. So we want to make sure we get that right. So it's, I consider a working document. They made some changes whereby, number 1, a complaint may only be made by a council member in the municipality in which the subject of the complaint is a council member. So we're not going to make complaints about other council members in other units, but we can make them against each other. That should be fun. Can you imagine? But you know what? It would have to be something that's real. You wouldn't sit at a table with your peers and do that if it's not serious. And now there's so much happening that it had to be cleared up. You can't make, a council member may not submit a complaint on behalf of another person or entity. So someone in the public isn't going to come to you and say, I need you to do a code of conduct against someone else, because that's dangerous. There are no complaints from the public anymore. And yeah, so it's sad that a code of conduct is needed for adults serving the public, and the recent changes were made to address a little bit of misuse and of the regulations, and we'll keep refining it. The other files for NSFM that we're doing include policing review, which has been huge, and we had over 120 elected officials in the city last month just trying to hash this through and ask the minister questions. We've got a fire review on the go, a coastal protection. I don't know, you can probably tell me more, Belle, because we've got a lot of big files, but we're working on them and doing the best we can. So as NSFM president, I also sit on the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. So we're not just talking about Nova Scotia, we're talking about all of Canada, but from my perspective, that Nova Scotia flair, because we have it different issues from what they would have in Western Canada, and we want to make sure that ours are on the table as well. So lots of committee work in September and October, because we get ready for board meetings. You know, I don't know, I took part in the Rural Forum covering those towns and areas outside of major cities, so everything kind of gets divided, the big cities. So that would be Halifax, Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, Vancouver. We're not them, and you can't be lumped in with them, so we're trying to make sure that those are separated. We do that through a rural forum, figure out what we have in common, and lots of changes get made that way. I am sitting on the Public Safety and Crime Prevention Committee, so we're discussing things to actually had that meeting today. And I co-chair finance, because they know how I love budgets. I'm really good at budgets. You guys know that's not true. Co-chair the Finance, Infrastructure, and Transportation. And then at the end of this month, we have Advocacy Days, which happens every year in Ottawa, where I'll just go up overnight and have meetings set up with different ministers, again, around what affects us here. I do want to say a big congratulations to Chuck Smith, who is our town volunteer, and we did go to Halifax, had the celebration, the premier was there, the minister was there, Lieutenant Governor handed out the awards, and it was just a really great day. Carrie Muse is there for the county, and it was a great day, and we're just thankful for Chuck. And I could read his bio, but I don't have it in front of me, and it would take half the night because he's done that much. I don't think anybody's not aware of a water situation, and we've still got the bulk water. It's working. Showers are at Mariners on Main, so if anybody's asking any of council, I know we get a lot of questions. So if they're asking you, if they go to Mariners Center, they will direct them right back to Mariners on Main. So that's important, and it's free. So you're not paying your daily fee, you're just going in and having showers. Did a little bit of costing on the wells, only because we were curious, and, you know, for around 200 or a little bit more a month, you can get the highest amount, I think, which is $20,000 in one of those for 10 years. They've got vouchers. There's a well lending program that people are starting to take advantage of, so that's really good. And the idea is to help people get to a place where they don't have to carry those big bins all the time. Like, they can be self-sufficient, but we're good to provide the water. So I think that's some of the stuff that's going on. And I would say, you know, from town council and staff, we do wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I know life's not perfect, but we've got a lot to be grateful for here. And it's a great community to live in. So that's what I came up with in a few minutes. Questions for committee chairs? Anybody? Go ahead.
I don't have any questions, but I have a whole bunch of things to say.
Go right ahead.
First off, congratulations to the Here Here Society and the work that they've done. And Bell is a big part of that, so you all deserve a rousing round of applause for what you've done with the Chamber Music Festival first year, and it's wonderful. Congratulations. And the presence of them in opportune spots has been absolutely magnificent. It's great to see.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Just a reminder that they will be at the hospital in the foyer tomorrow from 1:30 to 4:30. So there'll be a lot of happy patients, I have a feeling, hearing great music. So if you're going to the hospital to visit someone, you might get to hear a little bit of music along the way.
Thank you. Second thing, as you knew, because I mentioned it during Committee of the Whole, we had a cruise ship come on Monday. Went very well. It was a beautiful day. Everyone had a pretty decent time. There were places open in downtown, which was wonderful to see. So that was great. It's happening again this Thursday when the next ship comes. There are two from this new French, well, new to us, not new French cruise line, but new to us French cruise line. And so that's going to be happening on the 16th. There's been notices sent out to downtown businesses to be aware again that they'll be in the area from about 2 o'clock through until about 10 o'clock at night on a Thursday night, which is a little bit nicer in its own way because it's livelier downtown. There are some things happening, so that's a good one. And as we continue to build both the tourism industry generally and those shoulder seasons, particularly when it comes to this is really great stuff. And speaking of that, you were talking about busy. We have got ourselves a week coming. And it starts actually on the 20th of October and goes until about the 27th. So the first bit of it, it's October is Small Business Month. And the 20th through the 26th is Small Business Week. And we really embrace that here with the various support groups that exist, the Western Wren being one of them, CBDC and others. We have a committee that comes together every year, puts things together. There's, of course, with the Chamber Awards that are happening on that Thursday night. There are events that I've been working with the NSCC, and we're going to be introducing them to entrepreneurs and young business people and showing them supports. And I've spoken there a couple of times, so it's going to be an extremely busy week. And at the same time on that Thursday that the Chamber Awards are happening, we have Nova Scotia Music Week starting up. So it's all on top of each other. And we expect some great things there. We've got venues all through the area. Thank you to Jeff Gushu, who's been helping with some of the venue stuff. I won't go into that, but he's been working hard on a couple of things. But there's a lot to look forward to in October. And yeah, certainly lots to be thankful for because, you know, this place is oozing with vitality. And I've always said we have tons and tons of potential, and it's lovely to see things starting to come together. It doesn't come together fast enough for us, but we always think that. But it's coming together, and it's great to see. Thank you.
So you're going to be on, are you going to be on the 14th on one of those cruise ships?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay, any other questions for committee chairs or anything anybody wants to share that's going on? No? Okay, approval of invoices. The recommended motion is that various invoices be approved for payment. Okay, Councillor Dares and Councillor Hatfield, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. The date of the next meeting is November 13th. Okay, motion to go in camera. Okay, let's do it.